Hey everyone, we're so happy that you've joined us, and as you can tell, I'm not there in person because of a great opportunity that I have to be able to be teaching at another church that's part of just the Alliance families in Quebec, and they're a church that's praying for us, and just happy that we're planting a church here in Laval. And one of the things that I want to share, just so some of you are here maybe for the first time, is a special welcome to you and a reminder that our Sunday gatherings are just such a small part of so many other things that we're learning about and planning as it relates to the start of the 180. We're in a phase which is called the pre-launch phase of the church, which is we're just learning about what it means to gather and listen and pray together. And I want to tell you about two groups that are starting to meet in November, and they're leadership groups meeting on Monday nights. One is meeting in Montreal and one is meeting in Laval. And these groups are really starting to gather outside of a Sunday gathering to pray together, learn together. And I'm actually in both of those groups providing some teaching. So if you're thinking, hey, you're coming here on a Sunday and you'd love to maybe think about being more in a leadership capacity or in a leadership role, love for you if you can email us or sign up at the back or talk to Dave or someone on the stage. And we'd love to connect you to some of the leadership things that are happening outside of a Sunday morning. For many people, it's easy to think that church is just what happens on a Sunday morning. Music, teaching, and you can forget that there's so many other things that happen. And what we're trying to do as a church is to ask ourselves this very simple question. What does it mean to live like Jesus Monday to Saturday and not just on Sunday? What does it mean to practice what we learn here together every day when we're at work, when we're with our kids, when we're with our friends, when you're at school? And that's hard to do. But yet that's really the place where we learn what it means not to be hypocrites. You know, I grew up in church, and I know some people who when they think about church, they just think of a Christian, a person who goes to church, and they think of a hypocrite, a person who says one thing and lives something totally different. And that kind of pushes so many people away from being part of the journey of church or learning about Jesus. And we think it's so essential to the 180 and to the beginning of our church that we would model what it's like to learn together on Sunday, but to ask ourselves these very important questions like, am I living this every other day? Am I learning what it means to pray or to share with someone or to show kindness, to love my neighbor? These are some of the things we hope that you start to think about, and you will have to think about it if you want to be part of what God's doing here at the 180. And so I want to encourage you again that what's starting to develop is leadership groups, kind of home groups, that some leaders are hosting that are meeting on Monday nights, that you can be a part of. And if you'd like info on that and saying, you know, I want to go deeper than just on a Sunday, I want to grow in community in a group of like 7 to 10 people where I can learn together with others, we'd love to hear from you and get you connected to the leadership culture of the 180 as it develops. As I mentioned earlier, everyone, I really wish I could be with all of you in person. But this morning, although I can't be there, I know many of the leaders are already in place helping with so many things that are going on. And I'm so grateful for Dave and the worship team and a lot of our leaders who are at the tables at the back. And again, if you want to be able to support the church financially, you can do that as well at the back by signing up or being able to give that way. You can do that here or online. But this morning, we have a special treat for everyone. And that's that we have a video from a leader of a church in Ontario. And his name is Rob. And Rob is the senior pastor of a church called Forest City Community Church in London, Ontario. You can look them up online. They're a wonderful church. And the special relationship that we have with this church is they are one of the first churches that really decided that they would partner with us as a church plant. I remember meeting with Rob over coffee and sharing kind of my sense and the weight in my heart that God was calling Bev and I and our family to move back to Quebec, to be part of something new like this. And I thought, God, if you don't bring kind of the right partners along with us who are going to help us financially, praying for us, supporting us in conversations, I don't think we can do this. And over a few coffees and conversations, Rob and his wife and the elders of that church started to really sense that they wanted to partner with us. And because I couldn't be here in person, I asked Rob to actually prepare a special video for us this morning. And what I asked Rob to do is I asked Rob to record just some stories and lessons from the first few years of when their church started. Their church is called Forest City Community Church, and about 21 years ago, Rob and his wife Kobe planted that church in Ontario. And right now they are a growing church with 2 sites, over 2,000 people that meet on a Sunday morning. And that all sounds great and exciting. But they didn't start that way. And it's easy to look at the final product and be like, isn't that great? One day I hope God uses us in the same way. And to miss all of the lessons along the way that are required to learn about what it means to grow together and learn together and cry together and laugh together. And so I'm just so blessed that Rob has agreed to do this video so that we can kind of together listen, watch this together, and get a sense of the kinds of things that we're maybe going to have to experience together as well. Although we have these partnering churches and we have these great relationships with churches that love us and are supporting us, I think we have to be ready to go through our own journey, to go through our own lessons of learning. And so this morning, as you hear from Rob and as he shares, my prayer for all of us and for those of you who are listening is that you just open up your hearts and just pray and say, God, what part do I need to play at the 180? What gifts do I have? What skills do I have? And even as I think about that, I think of Randy, who's videotaping this video for us, and how he's using his gifts of saying, I can do video and I can help. And you're maybe here this morning and you're watching and you're thinking, I have some gifts that I think I can really use to help the church. So as you watch Rob and as you hear their stories, I pray that you're just not only excited about what God's doing in their context, but that you're introduced to a leader in Canada who is making a difference and who believes and supports what we're doing here in Montreal, in Laval, in Quebec. And I hope you enjoy this video.